Now again come to the next part of this important peritoneum. Can you see here the two cavities, and both cavities are equal in volume, right and left, but when there is a rotation, then this cavity became big. That's why it is known as the greater cavity, means sac. So yes, the cavity in front of the GIT tube or GIT tube and entry abdominal wall, between these two, the big cavity, greater sac, while there is the one small cavity here. Can you see? This is the small cavity behind the GIT tube. Or if suppose this is the level of the stomach, so behind the stomach, this small cavity is known as, yes, lesser sac. What I'm telling you, this is the GIT tube at the level of stomach. So in front of the stomach, greater sac, behind the stomach, lesser sac. Okay. So again we are drawing the same image. Okay. This is the entry abdominal wall, posterior abdominal wall, and here is the GIT tube at the level of stomach. Suppose this is the stomach. So this is the entry abdominal and posterior abdominal wall, peritoneum and visceral peritoneum, parietal and the visceral peritoneum. So this is the greater sac, while this is the lesser sac. So one very most important topic from few years back, AIMS question as well as your all India exam questions about the boundaries of the epiploic foramen or foramen of Winslow. So just to see what is this foramen of Winslow. Yes, can you see there is the one vertical slit is present at this location, which is responsible for the communication between greater sac and lesser sac. Yes. This vertical slit communicating between greater sac and lesser sac is known as foramen of Winslow. Also it is known as epiploic foramen. And again this question has been asked, what are the various boundaries of the epiploic foramen? Okay, so what is the epiploic foramen? The vertical slit which communicates the greater sac and the lesser sac. Now we are going to see what are the various boundaries of this epiploic foramen. Yes, see, this was the question in the AIMS and All India exam, that what structure forms the superior boundary of the marked foramen, and the question has been asked. This is nothing, this is the epiploic or foramen of Winslow. If you are not knowing, even then you can answer that answer is the lesser omentum. No, it may not be the lesser omentum. Yes, why? Because it is the space. And caudate lobe, yes, caudate lobe is the part of the liver, and you can see this is the very big organ, yes, which is the liver. So definitely answer will be the liver, means caudate lobe. Yes, duodenum, superior boundary, can you see, is it looking like the duodenum? No, never. Inferior vena cava, by this image you can see the inferior vena cava is located on the back side. So it is the posterior relation, not the superior relation. And in your simple books you can see such kind of the diagram. We will draw the diagram later, but see this image. This is the epiploic foramen. Yes, diagrammatic presentation. This is the epiploic foramen. The superior boundary is formed by the caudate process of the caudate lobe of the liver. Okay, so this is nothing, this is the liver. Okay, inferior boundary is formed by the first part of the duodenum, and anterior boundary is formed by the blue color, red color and the green color. This blue, red, green are nothing but these are the vein, artery and the duct. VAD. Yes, vein. Which vein? Portal vein. A, artery. Which artery? Hepatic artery. And D, duct. Which duct? Bile duct. So these are forming the entry boundary, while the posterior boundary is formed by this blue color structure. This is the inferior vena cava, and just behind to it there is the one gland, that is the suprarenal gland, and behind to it there is the vertebra. Which vertebra? T12. So this was also the MCQ. epiploic foramen is located at which vertebral level? Your answer is the T12. This was the question in All India exam, and the question has been asked, the superior boundary of the epiploic foramen is formed by the which structure? Lever, caudate lobe, caudate process. Yes, caudate process of the caudate lobe of the lever. We will see detail in the lever part. But this is the image from your anatomy. I will teach you this part again with the clinical correlation. But can you see this image? Yes, see this image. This is the transverse section of the abdomen. Transverse section of the abdomen. So in the transverse section of the abdomen, can you see on the posteriormost side there is the location of the vertebra? Yes, we are talking about the epiploic foramen. So definitely which vertebra you have to mention? Your answer is the T12. Now can you see, if this is the epiploic foramen, so this small cavity is the Lesser sac, while there is the big another cavity, it is the incomplete diagram. So this blue color structure, this is the, yes, definitely this is the greater sac. So the communication from the greater sac to the Lesser sac, this communication, this vertical slit is known as epiploic foramen. Now through this image, can you see the anterior boundary of this epiploic foramen? This is the anterior boundary. This is the diagrammatic presentation. This is the anterior boundary. Yes, this anterior boundary is formed by the vein, artery and the duct, while the posterior boundary is formed by the suprarenal gland S, inferior vena cava I and the thoracic vertebra T. So you can remember the anterior relation, they are the vein, artery, duct, while the posterior relation, they are the SIT. Okay, suprarenal gland, inferior vena cava and T for thoracic vertebra. You can write down this trick, important. Okay, but this is the boring way to study the anatomy. Now correlate this topic with your clinical. Now we are going to talk about the clinical part of this structure, that is the Pringle maneuver. Now see what is happening. This is the stomach. Yes, in gross anatomy we will study that this stomach is having the lesser curvature and greater curvature. So the fold of the peritoneum which is attached along the lesser curvature is known as lesser omentum, while the fold of the peritoneum which is attached along the greater curvature is known as greater omentum. Now see here, just on the left hypochondrium there is the stomach, while on the right hypochondrium there is the position of the liver. So here is the position of the liver. So definitely this is the liver part. So you can see the lesser omentum is attached all over, but this part is free. It is not having any attachment. So this free part is known as free margin of lesser omentum. Yes, this is the pre-margin of lesser omentum. Now see this pre-margin of lesser omentum, how it is looking in this image. This is the stomach. Yes, this is the stomach. Here is the liver. So this ligament is nothing. The ligament or the fold of the peritoneum between the stomach and the liver is known as lesser omentum. Later we will see it is also known as the hepatogastric ligament. Lesser omentum is also known as the hepatogastric ligament. We will see later. Yes. So this is the lesser omentum. Okay. Now see in this beautiful image from the surgery. Yes. Now see this free margin of lesser omentum is having the green color and the red color. Yes. What are these? These are nothing. These are the bile duct and the hepatic artery. Yes. Portal vein is also located, but it is behind. Yes. Duct is dextro. Dextro means right, and artery is on the left. So remember the structure which are present within the free margin of lesser omentum, they are nothing. They are the vein, artery, duct. So what is happening in case of the surgery, abdominal surgery, okay, surgical operation for the gallbladder, for the liver, what we are looking that you have to perform the Pringle's maneuver. What is happening when you are going to perform the surgery for this liver and the gallbladder? You have to prevent the bleeding from the portal vein and the hepatic artery, as well as you have to prevent the biliary leakage from the bile duct, for which you have to compress this structure. So what you will do? with the help of the knowledge of anatomy, yes, now you are knowing along the free margin of laser momentum, the structures are present vein, artery and the ducts. Vein, artery and the duct. So you are compressing this vein, artery, duct along the free margin of the laser momentum. So there is the no bleeding, no shock, and the chances of the chemical peritonitis also reduces. Very fine. This procedure is known as Pringle maneuver. What is the Pringle maneuver? Compression of vein, artery, duct along the free margin of laser momentum is known as Pringle maneuver. Okay. But now concentrate again on the anatomy. You are inserting the finger from one opening. Now your index finger is going behind to the stomach, while your thumb is in front of the stomach. Can you see? Here there will be the sternum and these are the cut ribs. So these ribs are attached to the sternum. So just to see, here will be the anterior abdominal wall. Anterior abdominal wall somewhere here, and this is the stomach. So the space between the anterior abdominal wall and the stomach is known as greater sac, while the small cavity behind the stomach, that will be known as the lesser sac. And you are inserting the finger which is going from greater sac to the lesser sac, and then you are holding the free margin of the laser momentum, means you are performing the Pringles maneuver. So just tell me, during this Pringles maneuver, you are going through which opening? That is the foramen of Winslow. Yes, that's why this foramen of Winslow, epiploic foramen, is important. Again, what I'm telling you, along for the compression of the vein, artery, duct along the free margin of the laser momentum, means during the Pringles maneuver, we are inserting the finger through the foramen of Winslow. Now, can you correlate with the surgery? If this is the stomach, then it will continue as a duodenum. Getting the point? And yes, here is the location of the liver. And if this is the foramen of Winslow, yes, this is the foramen of Winslow. So which structure is forming the superior boundary? Definitely your answer is the liver. Yes, this is the liver. Liver is forming the superior boundary. Later we will see that is the chordate process of the chordate lobe of the liver. Yes, can you see the inferior boundary is formed by the which structure? Your answer is the D1, D2, D3. Definitely your answer is the D1, first part of the duodenum. Yes, can you tell me which structure is forming the anterior boundary? Which structure is forming the anterior boundary? Definitely your answer is the free margin of laser momentum correlating with the vein, artery and the duct. In the posterior boundary, it is not visible, which is formed by the SIT. S for suprarenal gland, right suprarenal gland, I for inferior vena cava, and T for thoracic vertebra, T12. Okay, so now after this clinical correlation with the surgery, Pringle maneuver, now we come to understand that diagram of the boundaries of the epiploic foramen. So you can draw the simple image. Suppose this is the foramen of Winslow. Okay, so suppose this is the superior, this is the inferior. Okay, suppose here is the anterior and here is the posterior direction. So what are the boundaries of the foramen of Winslow on the superior side? So just make a brownish structure, that is the liver, but the better answer is the chordate lobe or chordate process. So it is forming the superior boundary. Yes, what are the structures which are forming the anterior boundary? So diagrammatic presentation, vein, artery and the duct. Yes, vein, artery and duct. Which vein? Portal vein. Yes, which artery? Hepatic artery. And which duct? Your answer is the bile duct. So these are the structure. What are the structure forming the anterior boundary? Vein, artery, duct. But remember, this vein, artery, duct, they are within the free margin of laser momentum. So this is the diagrammatic presentation. Yes, these are under cover of the free margin of laser momentum. Now see, the inferior boundary is formed by, yes, just recall with your anatomy diagram as well as from your surgery. Yes, your answer is the first part of the duodenum. and the posterior side boundary. Yes, this part is the posterior. The posterior side is formed by the structures. They are the SIT. So in sequence, if you will draw, here is the inferior vena cava. Yes, here is the suprarenal gland, and posterior to it there is the location of the, yes, thoracic vertebra, T12. So this is the just diagrammatic presentation of the boundaries of the foramen of Winslow. You have to go through the BD Chaurasia, simple images, as well as you can remember by your clinical Pringle's maneuver. So these are the boundaries of the foramen of Winslow. Now again we are correlating the few important topics of this peritoneum with your clinical. You know that, yes, see this image again. Within this free margin of the laser omentum, yes, within this free margin of laser, yes, this is the epiploic foramen, this is the laser omentum, this is the free margin of laser omentum. So what are the structures which are located here? You know, vein, artery and the duct. Now see, this is the portal vein. You know, your pathology case, your medicine case, that is the portal hypertension. Yes, see this image. In this image you can see this is the portal vein, largest vein of the abdomen, which is formed by the vein coming from the spleen. So this is the splenic vein, and another vein which is coming from the intestine, superior in location, that's why it is known as the superior mesenteric vein. So the splenic vein plus superior mesenteric vein both combines together and forms portal vein. MCQ. You have to remember 2S. S for splenic vein, S for superior mesenteric vein. 2S unites together and forms portal vein. I will tell you later in abdomen part that this portal vein is formed behind neck of pancreas. MCQ. At which level? Your answer is the L2. MCQ. We will see later, but remember this fact. So this is the portal vein which divides into the right and left tributaries and then supplies to the liver. Okay, so sometimes the pressure within the portal vein increases too much, then that condition is known as the portal hypertension. One of the very common condition, that is the cirrhosis. Study in your clinical, it is the 3 types. Yes, prehepatic, hepatic and posthepatic. Okay, but what will happen during this portal hypertension? The pressure is increasing, as well as there will be increased diameter of the portal vein. So now correlate this topic. Yes, see here, if the portal vein is getting enlarged, suppose this portal vein is getting enlarged, so it will be drawn in this manner, and the hepatic artery while bile duct, they will be normal, so it will appear in this way. Okay, so now correlate this medicine, pathology and anatomy topic with your radiology. Yes, can you see? During the radiological examination like the ultrasonography, when you will see this image, then portal vein you are getting dilated, while the bile duct and the hepatic arteries, they are normal in size. So it is mimicking like this. And yes, if you will concentrate, it is nothing but it is looking like the face of the Mickey Mouse. That's why in radiology you study about the Mickey Mouse sign which is found in the portal vein. So can you getting the point how you have to study the anatomy? You are reading the peritoneum, you are reading the greater sac, lesser sac, you are studying about the free margin of the laser omentum. What is the laser omentum? You have to know. Yes, along the free margin of the laser omentum there is the vein, artery and the duct. Now you have to correlate this vein with your medicine, with your pathology. Now you have to correlate when this portal vein is getting dilatation, then it is looking with the hepatic artery and the bile duct as the face of the Mickey Mouse, which is known as the Mickey Mouse sign in your radiology. This is the way to study and to keep the anatomy facts in your mind. So now this Mickey Mouse sign you have to read again further. This Mickey Mouse sign is not only found in case of the portal hypertension, but it is seen also in case of the brain. Yes, midbrain progressive supranuclear palsy you have to read in your Harrison. Again, this midbrain is looking like the face of the Mickey Mouse. So the Mickey Mouse sign is not the diagnostic for the portal hypertension, but there are lots of the condition in which you get the Mickey Mouse sign. You can take a screenshot and you can save this one. Okay, you have to read this all the things in your clinical, that portal hypertension Mickey Mouse sign is found, but is saphenofemoral junction also at this site. In few diseases there may be the presence of Mickey Mouse sign, also in the Puget's disease of the bone, also inguinal vesicle hernia part you can this sign, also in the uteropelvic junction obstruction you can get the Mickey Mouse sign. So are you getting? Yes, definitely anatomy is very dry, hard, boring and volatile subject. But when you are collating this anatomy with your physiology, yes, your pathology, your surgery, medicine, radiology, you are getting interest. And now you will be able to keep this fact in your mind for the long-term memory in your hippocampus. So further again we will discuss this all the topics. The few parts of the peritoneum we will discuss in the embryology part with the development.